Richard Skipper celebrates. Every show is a celebration. Richard Skipper celebrates the best in entertainment. Each show, Richard delivers the artists you love, showcasing what makes them unique. Never gossipy. The antidote to a sometimes hectic world. Now, here's your host, Richard Skipper.
Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to Richard Skipper Celebrates. I want to know, what are you celebrating tonight? I want to tell you what I'm celebrating. I'm celebrating Mary Jo Catlett. And the reason that we were starting a little late tonight is because a very dear friend of Mary Jo's has put together a very special gift, and it just arrived hot off the presses. And I'm going to share this with you, Mary Jo. It just came, and I hope you enjoy it. We're going to watch it together. I haven't even seen it, so God only knows what's ahead for both of us. I hope you enjoy this.
I can't.
Here we go.
Okay.
We're going to open this right now.
Yay.
And see what.
Imagine Bill and I riding down the waves of Waikiki, sipping champagne.
And luau. Oh, we'll probably be leaving in March, so could you...
Yes, I'll water your plant.
Aloha.
I'll get it. Hello? Oh, it's for you. Good evening, Roaches. Welcome to the one and only Black Flag Roach Motel. It's all here. Exquisite cuisine, luxury accommodations, excitement.
This is Mildred Frankler of Teterboro, New Jersey. If you can identify the lowest list price car built in America, you will win our grand prize. Is it Pinto, Vega, or Gremlin? Gremlin! That's right! Gremlin!
Buy a drink?
Thanks for nothing. I got a drink.
I'll buy another drink. We have two more of the same here.
Sure thing, but it's about 10 minutes.
I could have sworn I saw a dove fly into Sylvie Cutler's kitchen. shown the most spectacular improvement of any student I've ever seen. What's your secret? A little radio in your head?
And here she is, Mary Jo Catlett. Mary Jo, your friend Bill put that together this afternoon.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Bill. Oh, Bill Jacobs, it's fabulous.
Bill Jacobs, yes.
I thought that some of that was lost forever. I never thought, oh my gosh, it's wonderful. Thank you. Hi, Johnny. Thank you.
Be careful what you say and do, because nothing is lost forever. Well, Mary Jo, first of all, we have been trying to make this night happen for quite some time. Here we are, finally. And I want to ask you, the name of this show is Richard Skipper Celebrates. What are you celebrating these days?
Well, I think these days I'm celebrating each day to the fullest to say that I'm still here. I'm still here. And everything's a song cue. And I have my dear sister living with me now, and Pat, and it's just, life is good. And thank God I'm still doing SpongeBob.
Thank God for that. I mean, that's the longest running role that you've done. And that's the longest running cartoon, I think, that's been around. Isn't that right?
The Simpsons.
The Simpsons. But SpongeBob is giving them a run for their money.
Yes.
I want to go back for a moment. We were looking at photographs in this of you as a little girl. You're originally from Denver, Colorado. When you look back at that 5-year-old girl with dreams of being in the theater, could you ever imagine the world and the life that you've lived?
Never, Richard. I didn't know for sure at 5. I loved, singing and things like that at 5. But when I was 8 is when I was positive. And I thought, I'm so glad I know what I want to do, but I don't know how I'll ever, do it. And I thought, well, maybe I can just do little theater around Denver and be a teacher and, like that. But it was such a burning desire. I knew I had to give it a try.
Well, where did that burning desire come from? Did you come from a family where you were exposed to the arts? Did you have music in your household? Where did that come from originally?
We did have music, and my mom and I would listen every Saturday to Milton Cross and the Metropolitan Opera from New York, So I had these wonderful pictures in my mind. That's the thing of those days. Without any television, you really developed such an imagination. I loved old radio. Oh, I could see the Lone Ranger and Tonto in the dust and almost getting shot. I could see all that. And I loved to try to sing along with the opera. And also we had daily music of pop music in our house. And also I had an Uncle Ray Kiley, who encouraged me so much. He worked for the Railway Express, and he said, why don't you entertain for us one day? And of course, that's all I wanted to hear. I'd have an audience. Oh, baby. So I did. I guess I was probably still around 8 or 9. And I really attribute that. And also my next door neighbor, her name was Georgia May Rohnfeld. She would sing and play the piano and leave her door open. And I'd go over on her porch and sit and just listen. And then one day she said, why don't you come in and sing with me? I said, I was really shy because she was really good. She had a beautiful voice. And of course, once I did it, then I was there every day with my nose against the screen, hoping she'd ask me to come in and sing. So she really helped me. so many people helped me along the way, except maybe one nun in college, one dear sister in college. She said, please don't go to New York. You just don't have the guts for it. And I thought, you'll be hurt and it won't be good for you. And I thought,
Well, was there a time when you went to your parents and you said, Mom and Dad, this is the career path that I want to go down? And if so, what was their initial reaction to that?
They couldn't have been more supportive of my sister and I in our vocations.
Mm-hmm.
My sister became a Dominican sister, and that was very hard because she left when she was 18. And it was hard for them, I think, to let her go that early. I was 23, but when my mom finally, I was so depressed one day, and my mom and Dad bought the railroad ticket. They bought a train ticket to New York, and she said, take this and you have to give it a try. So they were never stage parents, but they gave me that push, and it was really hard. I think I cried all the way through Kansas. Oh, I was so homesick, just terrible. And then I landed at Grand Central Station with nothing there, not a cushion. And I started calling YWCA. They were crowded. They were done. Barbizon Plaza for young girls. They were loaded. They were full. And so I had worked in Denver with this fellow, Mark Howard, and his partner, Pat Nugent. And I called them and I said, I'm at Grand Central Station. I want you. And so he said, don't move. Where are you? By the clock, I'll be there. And they came and swooped me up, took me to their apartment. I lived with them 3 months. And when I finally found an apartment and I was doing some children's theater and had a little money, he said, don't leave. This is great. And they were jumping over my suitcases every morning, and I had the fold down couch. I mean, I was really in the way there, but they were wonderful. They, more than anybody, helped me stay in New York City.
And did you have any type of survival jobs before you started landing legitimate theater jobs? I mean, you were off Broadway before you got your big break on Broadway. So what were the ropes that led you in that direction?
Thank you. No, I didn't. I wasn't a waitress, or I had about $2,000 when I landed. I had saved up from working for the Rocky Mountain States telephone company as a service representative. And I had that little cushion, and also my mom and dad, they would send odd bit, $20, here's $10. And so it was cheap living then, I think my first apartment was, my first apartment was awful. It was a 3-flight walk up with a bathroom in the hall. It was terrible. But
I've done it. I know it.
Horrible. I think it was $15 a week then. It was really the dark ages. And then I think my first apartment was $150, a 1-bedroom apartment in New York City. Who would ever think that? So you could, and I tried to make a job of reading backstage and saying to myself, each day I'm going to do something to help my career, something, even if it's go to a movie and see an actor, or call a different agent and say, I would really love to be able to have an appointment with you. And they did it. Many times they did it. Sometimes it was disheartening. I remember one kind of top agent, and he was on the phone most of the time. Yes. Oh, what was that? Oh, yes. Catlett? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Take the deal. He never really paid attention to me, and it hurt. It really hurt. Another one was eating a sandwich. And I thought, there were many blows. There always is to acting. There's a lot of pain. And one time I auditioned for Jose Quintero. And he said, you are it. You're going to be in Three Penny Opera. And I said, oh, thank you. And he said, we'll be calling you. So I waited and I watched the phone, and about 3 weeks later, I called, and the secretary said, "Oh, Miss Catlett, didn't Mr. Quintero call you?" "No." "Well, Charlotte Jones was free from her other show, and he's used her a lot, so he's going to use her." Now, that's before Dolly. That's way back when, and to this day, it's like, okay, and you go on.
You keep going. You keep going.
Yep.
And then when Dolly came along, Dolly, of course, was this phenomenal hit for you. You were in the show. How long were you in the show before you decided that it was time to move on? And was that a very difficult decision for you?
It was. It wasn't exactly moving on, though, because, well, two things happened. Charles Nelson Riley got together this thing called Talent 65. So we'd been a year in Dolly, and he asked me to be part of it. And Talent 65 was showcasing many Broadway players in a wonderful Broadway theater. I thought I could remember it. It's right across from the St. James, and I can't remember it right now. Anyway, so we were there, and he would invite all the agents and everybody in town. So that opened wonderful things to commercials. They liked what I did, and I was called a lot. Thank goodness for commercials. What else happened was Ginger Rogers came in and replaced Carol Channing. And then she was going on the road, and she said, "I'd really like you to go with me on the road." And I said, "Oh, I don't know. I have these commercials. Oh, yes, please go with me on the road." And I made very little more money, very, very little. But I was also good friends with her hairdresser, who Kathy Engel. Kathy was wonderful. And she said, "Oh, please come. We'll have a wonderful time." Well, the wonderful time got to me. And I probably shouldn't have gone on the road for that almost year, but that's what happened. So that when I came back, I was starting fresh again. David Merrick said, "If we have openings, you can go in as Ernestina in any of the companies." I said, "Thank you. I just want to see what I can do." So then I auditioned for other things.
Now, did you enjoy being on the road? I mean, it's a very difficult way of life for a lot of actresses. Some are acclimated to it. What about yourself?
I really liked it because I was with my friend Kathy, and I was with two really wonderful stagehands. Two stagehands were so much fun. Connie Clifford was his name, and the other fellow's name was Sleepy. I forget what his real name was. Anyway, so we would go out after the show, not on matinee days usually, and then we might have a late dinner or a late snack and a drink, and it was really fun, but it wasn't really anything to move my career, which I sort of lost sight of that with all the good times. And Ginger was wonderful to work with. She was just wonderful.
With all that you've done, Mary Jo, was there a particular moment in your career when you felt that you caught the brass ring? I mean, I have been very fortunate to interview actors and actresses from every level in the business. And no matter where they are, some feel that they are still striving for that brass ring. What moment in your career did you feel, I really caught the brass ring?
A couple kind of come to my mind. One, in doing two different roles, I thought, because it was like I used every bit of what I knew and what I had in the parts. So often character ladies of that time, now they can be leading ladies, but at that time, you'd have little parts and you do your best. But when I got to be in My Little Sheba, Come Back Little Sheba,
we've got telepathic messages going back and forth because I really want to talk about that.
Oh, good. And another time when I I had the musical comedy that I loved so much, and I love that Bill included a picture of that, Some Things Afoot. I originated the role of Miss Tweed and loved it so much. Then they decided to go to Broadway, and we were all excited. And then they dropped the bomb. Still disappointments happen, you know. They said, well, we've decided to import Tessie O'Shea to do the lead, but we really want you to understudy. And so that brass ring flew out the window. And but anyway, those 2 times, and then one other time that I felt such wonderful affirmation, and that was when I did General Hospital and was nominated for an Emmy. What a great feeling that was. You know, they say it doesn't matter if you win, and in a way it doesn't. When I got that nomination, I couldn't believe it. It was great.
And I want to talk a little bit about Come Back Little Sheba, because, I mean, you are known for your comedic talents, but you were nominated and won awards for your work in Come Back Little Sheba. How did that come about? And would you like to revisit these roles? I mean, you could still play the role. It's an incredible role for you.
It's a wonderful role. She really should be younger, though. She really should be around.
Well, Mary Jo, you're ageless as far as I'm concerned.
God bless you. So I'm really not right for Sheba anymore, much as I loved it. I'm really now the exact right age for Miss Tweed. She's this Margaret Rutherford type. Oh, don't be afraid when you can be courageous. You know, she's wonderful. But I don't know that I have the stamina at this age. So I guess they're both just in my hope chest.
Now, you mentioned earlier your sister. Your sister is a sister, and you also have been a sister from time to time. Now, not only have you been a sister, but you also have directed other sisters. And a very dear friend of both of us wanted to be here this evening. He has a message for you.
Oh, good.
Hey, Richard and Mary Jo, how are you? Richard just told me you were going to be on his program, and unfortunately, I have to go to the eye doctor, so I'm trying to make this little cameo thing, and I'm not very good at this, actually. I still have a dial phone in the kitchen, and it works. Anyway, I just wanted to say hi, Mary Jo. You are one of my most favorite Reverend Mothers. I remember when we were hanging out in Denver. It was so much fun. I hope everything's been going well for you, and you've made it through the pandemic. Things have been good for me, even though during the pandemic everything was quiet, but the shows are still booking, believe it or not, around the country. The, community theaters are doing it. And I wish we could get another project together. We had so much fun. In fact, it's funny, I was just talking about you the other day because we were talking about the original Hello, Dolly. And I was saying the best Ernestina ever was Mary Jo Catlett. So anyway, I just wanted to say hi. I hope everything is good. I love you to death. I love you too, Richard. And thanks for asking me to participate in this. I hope it works. If not, we'll just have to get together for lunch sometime. Take good care. Happy Halloween in advance. And love you both. Bye for now.
Oh, talk about a surprise. Wow, Dan, baby. Oh.
He really wanted to be here tonight, but unfortunately he was not able to be here. I want to talk about some of the people that you've worked with over the years and the life lessons that you learned from some of these people. Let's start with Carol Channing. And the things that you learned from them that you have carried through with you, both artistically and that you've carried in your heart as the friendships go. Let's start with Carol Channing.
Oh, you can almost start and end with her. She was so wonderful. She was such a good friend to my friend Alice Playton, who was also in the show, and to me. There was only one time when I disappointed her, and she sure let me know it. And that was when I missed a cue, just a visual cue, to hand her this gun for a shotgun wedding. And I put my hand in, and I felt terrible. And she made me feel worse because she knew it was good for me to do that. Mm-hmm. She was, I don't even know. She was just wonderful. Oh, little Mary Jo. Oh, Mary Jo. I wish we could go on the road together. She was just great. I loved her so much.
And you did go on the road with Ginger Rogers, so the experience of working with her.
Yes. And I really was kind of through with the road, although I did go one other time when I did Canterbury Tales. I went on the road, but it was a brief, like 4 months, I think. So,
and then when you came into Different Strokes, the experience of coming into a show that has already been established, when you came into that show, if I'm not mistaken, it was the 5th season. So there's already a rhythm going on. Was that an easy transition to come into a show that's already been running like clockwork for 5 years?
It really was not easy at first, because I cared so much and I was so happy to get the part. And I was also not a regular. I was what they call recurring. Mm-hmm. So if I had been able to go there every week and do it, I know I would have, it would have been easier. But thank God it did get easier finally. And so when I would be called to come in, I would be really happy and know what I was doing. And they were wonderful to me. If I blew a cue, it didn't happen very often because I really did work hard to not do that. They said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Take 2." They were just great.
That's great. And do you enjoy doing episodic television?
I did. I don't know now if
mm-hmm.
I think I would, but I don't know.
Now, I want to talk about friendships in this business because this is a business that sometimes it's difficult to maintain friendships because people come and go. You work with someone in a show. What's the secret with maintaining a long-term friendship with someone in this business?
It's not easy, Richard. It's kind of hard work. My Dolly people, I have 2 friends that I'm still friends with, and that's my friend Ron Young, and he was there for the anniversary when you were there. It was
yes.
great. And he lives now in Oklahoma. And my friend David Hartman. Mm-hmm. David Hartman was Rudolph in the show, yes. And went on to be famous and great, but still wonderful. He just very recently E'd me, and then he sent me a hard copy of some things we had done. I forget. One thing, I was coming out of a fountain at the Seagram's building, out of the Seagram's fountain, in a Hathaway shirt. It was a commercial, and he had his camera, and it was fun to see coming out of the fountain. And he was just always a good friend, but we worked at it. I have to say that, because when a show closes, you don't want to lose your friends, but it's the nature of the beast. We're gypsies, and then we open in a new show and we have all these new friends, and it's not easy.
And although he wasn't in the original production of Dolly, Leroy Reams, you became very good friends. How did you and Leroy Reams meet? And you've become very good friends over the years.
I believe, I'm not sure about this, but I think maybe through Carol Cook. They're very good friends, and she is a treasured friend of mine.
Absolutely.
And
when was the last time that you saw Leroy?
I think at the 50th anniversary of Dolly, we went out with Sandra Lee. Hi, honey.
And honey, you're looking good and even better, because here we are now, darling, part of what Pam Myers calls the Cotton Top Club.
Yeah. I love it.
Lucy Arnaz and Pam, and you know what? We look better. So here we are. Yeah, absolutely.
You look fabulous.
Well, and so do you, my darling. But I just want to talk about Mary Jo Catlett, the woman. We all know the talent. We've all loved the talent. But it's the person that we love. And it's her kindness, her generosity. To work with Mary Jo, we have benefited every disease ever invented and things that haven't happened yet. We do all the benefits. She never says no. She shows up on time. She's prepared. She does her job. She's a joy to be with, always positive. And I think because of that, that's why she looks the way she does now and why she has had longevity in her life. It's that human being that everybody falls in love with. Talent is a wonderful thing. Longevity and loving life is the secret, and she's the epitome of that.
Well, Leroy, you could say the same thing about you. In fact, it's like you're talking about you. You look fantastic, and you're always positive, and you're so funny. I just wish I could be even a little bit as funny as you are. You just make people laugh so much.
Well, I'm hoping
you together.
It's the geography keeps us apart. But whenever I go to LA, I always try to see you at my
Yes.
And, you know, likewise, when you come to New York, our paths always cross. And very important to me. And also because of the joy that you bring to all of us and to our lives. I mean, whenever you walk in a room, everybody just starts smiling. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. There's a line in Dolly where Van de Gelder says, "Wonderful woman." Well, that's you.
Oh.
Now, Mary Jo, did you ever get to play Dolly?
Never did.
Oh, what a shame. You would have been so wonderful.
I would have loved to play it. I wonder if I'm afraid there would have been a lot of shading of Carol there, but
no, there wouldn't have been. You would have done your own thing, as we all did, darling. Even I did it.
Yes, you were Dolly.
I saw Leroy do it. Leroy was brilliant as Dolly.
And God bless you, Richard, for coming all the way to Boca Raton to see it. But the thing about the show, that character is so wonderful to play. And it's not about wanting to get dressed up and drag and wear all that crap that you have to put on. And honey, to put on a pair of pantyhose all the time, no one should have to go through that. But anyway, it's the fact of playing that wonderful part, the way that it was created by, the original author. But Mike Stewart did such a lovely job of adapting Thornton Wilder's work. And all of us who had the pleasure of enjoying that. And Richard, you know well than anybody that it's just a wonderful, wonderful part. And the love and the Jerry Herman songs and all of that has gone with it. And of course, we could dish forever about the original production. I was not there, but you were. And you could also verify a lot of the folklore about that production. We don't have time today, but maybe another time we'll sit down and talk about it.
Well, Mary Jo and I have, we have gone through all of that. Mary Jo sat down with me a few years ago, and we talked about her experiences with Dolly. And it's all online. As she said earlier, it's all out there.
And the hot and cold running Barnabys. God bless those guys, darn. It just, Gower was such a perfectionist, and
they always,
one of them was perfect, but
they always seemed to be the bane of Carol Channing's existence, the Barnabys. She used to tell them all the time, the show isn't called Hello Barnaby.
God bless her. God bless her.
Honey, if you played the overture, she'd get out of the ground and come out.
Wasn't she amazing?
Yes.
Long may she wave. My goodness, she was. How old was she in the last production?
She was
70. I think 72. 70. Wasn't she 72?
She was 76.
76.
Wow.
76 in the second revival. Yes. 76 years old, but 110% at every performance. Now, boy, you better be ready to stand up there with her, because you do one false move or you miss, she'll be right at you. And it was a pleasure, because that's the way I feel too. So, and she gave me so many years of work. I mean, because of Lorelei into Hello, Dolly, and then do all those productions of Dolly. And then also I would go she would do her nightclub appearance. I mean, not nightclub, but her concert act, and I would be her opening act.
Fabulous.
She was responsible for a lot of my career and introduced me to Jerry Herman. How lucky are we, Mary Jo?
Oh, how lucky. Don't you say that, Leroy. I said that to my sister the other day. Aren't we so lucky to have done what we really in life wanted to do, that we absolutely loved? How many people can say that? They have to settle for something else much of the time.
And also the wonderful people. And I have to say, and I'm sure you agree too, very few of the people I worked with were not wonderful and nice and congenial, that we had a good time working together.
So true.
But that also has to do with us too, Mary Jo. We open a new window, we open a new door, turn on the lights, we'll run out and start acting. So,
but I always say,
I'm sorry.
No, I always say, as lucky as you were to work with them, they were lucky to work with you. And it's the truth. And I mean that.
What a nice thing to hear. That really is beautiful. I wanted to ask you, Leroy, I know you directed it a lot. Did you ever have to step in with Carol? Did you ever do it with her?
Oh, the first time I did it with her was the first revival. I played Cornelius Hackle.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, because I had done Lorelei with her on Broadway. And then a couple years later, she called me on the phone. I mean, I do this in my act all the time. She was, "Hello, Leroy, it's Carol. Carol Channing I'm going to do a revival of Hello, Dolly, and I want you to play Cornelius Hackle." But darling, Jerry Herman doesn't know you, darling, but it doesn't matter. You got your part. And indeed, I did. And of course, with Jerry, then the subsequent thing came to direct her second revival. And that became that Dolly thing. That and all of the ladies that I had the pleasure of directing, all of them were very different and brought their own thing to it, as that role can do. And I mean, listen, I get listed, but the ones that were outstanding, of course, Madeline Kahn. We fell in love. We had everything but the sex.
Maybe that's a good thing.
And she brought her own thing into it, and it was a joy. And Michelle Lee was so sexy, and Nicole Quasi in Paris was divine. Randy Graff was great. Leslie Uggams, my God, what's not to love about Leslie Uggams? It was funny about it. I love this story that we decided to put in "Love Look in My Window," which of course was put in when Merman was there. And Leslie and I wanted to do it where she would sing it and then go right into the Ephraim speech and then go into Parade. And Jerry said, no, you can't do that. He was there. He said, no, you can't do that. I want her to finish the song with that big ending. Love, come and stay, like Merman. And Leslie was looking at me like, help. What could we do? He was there. And so we put it in, and I said, Leslie, this is what we'll do. We'll do it at the one preview that we had. And if it doesn't work, maybe he'll see. She said, oh, yeah, let's do that. So we had our plan. We do the preview. Leslie sang, "Love, come and stay a while." And the audience stood up. And I looked at Jerry Herman. I said, well, I guess you know what you're doing. And then what happened, I thought, oh, my God, now she's got to do that speech and get back into that and then do, the parade. I thought, now we're sunk. She did the speech. She did Parade. And at the end of it, they stood up again. This was
perfect.
Yeah.
So he was right.
He was right. He was right. But of course, we had a great singer up there singing. And of course, Leslie is one of those people just like you. They can't wait to get to rehearsal. And you only have to tell her something once and she does it. You say, move to the right. Or whether they're saying, well, I don't know. I think maybe that we should move to the left. No, she just did it.
What's my motivation, Leroy? They'll say, what's my motivation?
Well, but you're one of the ones too, Mary Jo. You just do it, as does Cheetah Rivera. And that's the way it is. But Madeline Kahn was not like that. She needed all of that stuff. But it was worth it with her because she delivered. And it gave her confidence, which a lot of people didn't. I mean, I've got stories about Madeline Kahn. We'll do a whole hour, and I don't want to detract from you because this is all about you.
Yes.
A lovely, lovely human being.
I want to tell you that I worked with Madeline Kahn early on in Promenade. Do you ever remember that show?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Al Carmine's?
Yeah.
And she was awesome. She had the most wonderful soprano. I mean, it didn't quit.
Yeah.
But
and of course, the only reason that she had problems on the 20th century, because she told me, she said, doing 8 performances of that show, hitting all of those high notes, it was a disaster for her voice. And she said, you can't do that to your voice. Doing that 8 times a week, it's detrimental. And she
unless you're Dale Christian.
Huh.
You have to lower the keys. You have to lower the key so then I can do it. And they wouldn't lower the key. And she said, I'm out of here. I'm not going to destroy my voice.
Wow.
And that's why she left. But anyway, she was a divine human being, and we had really a love affair.
Wow.
I sure bet she sold out. People loved her so much.
Yeah.
And the opening, she had never. I don't want to talk about that because I don't want to distract from you.
Oh no! Please tell that. Please about the opening.
Just that when we were down in Houston, we did that afternoon. She had never done the show before, and that afternoon we had the first orchestra rehearsal that she would ever hear the orchestra, and she was on that night, never having done the show before. What pressure! So it came that night, and the show started. And the kid who was playing Ambrose Kemper came out, and she said, Mr. Kemper, and he forgot his line. He just stood there, he froze. And without a beat, she said, don't say another word, Mr. Kemper. I know what you're going to say. You want to know why. Well, let me tell you why. She went right on. Well, I went backstage at intermission, grabbed her, kissed her right in the mouth. And I said, you are so divine. And she never had the costumes on until, that afternoon. How could you be under that pressure playing a role like that? She did it. But in rehearsal, she got her answer for every question that she did. I'll give you one example of a laugh. When Cornelius is in the closet and she says, you see, Mr. Vandergam, there couldn't possibly be a man in that closet. Ah, chew! And Carol would look front and go, God bless you. Which, of course, got a big laugh. Madeline said, I can't do that. I said, well, what would you do, Madeline? She said, well, let me show you. I said, okay, show me. So you see, Mr. Vandergam, there could possibly be a man in that closet. She hears, chew. And she looked at Vandergam and goes, God bless you. As if he had been the one that sneezed.
Oh, that's fabulous.
And it got to laugh in a totally different way, but you got the result. And we kept it. And she couldn't say the line, varicose veins reduced. I said, Madeline, it's in the script. She said, I can't say that. You know what they are? I said, of course I know what they are. She said, I can't say that. And she said, I said, well, think of another word that would get the same result. She called her analyst. She called her mother. She came in the next day. She went to facial warts. And I said, no, that's not good. I said, I'll tell you a funny word. Brassiere. That's a funny word. And you look at Ernestina and you say, Brassiere's reinforced. I said, Mike's dead. He'll never know it. So I said, and if I'm right, and it happens at rehearsal, we leave it. That's what we did, and she got the laugh, and that's the way it was. But that's the way we worked. It was because she was creative, and she got the confidence. And then now, this is the end of the whole story about her. She was in Sisters Rosenzweig on Broadway, and I went backstage. She was wonderful. And by chance, Carol Channing was there at that matinee, too. So Carol was backstage, so we went in to see Madeline. Madeline saw me. She ran. She grabbed me. She kissed me. And I said, Madeline, you are so wonderful in this show. I'm bragging now. And she said, I'm wonderful because I worked with you last summer, because you gave me a confidence that I have never had in my career. Everything that we decided got the laugh, every performance. I've never had that kind of confidence. And she said, I owe it all to working with you. And I'll tell you, doing this play, I didn't like the director. And the first day of rehearsal, I said to myself, don't listen. Follow your instincts the way Leroy told you to do. And she said, when I put on that Chanel suit, I pretended I was Dolly on the ramp. And I said, and I'll tell you what, don't let them put you in the featured category because you're going to win the Tony. And the night of the Tony Awards at 12 o'clock, the phone rings. I hear this noise in the background. She said, hi, honey, it's Madeline. I called my mother first.
What show was that?
It was Sisters Rosenzweig.
Right. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
We just had a wonderful time. But anyway, all the Dolly stories, Darling, Richard, with all three of us, Patty, Maxine, and Turk, we could talk all night about Dolly. And the sun will come up and the sun will go down, and we'll still be telling tales.
But Leroy, I love you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you. I love you with all my heart. I'm coming to LA soon because I've got to see Carol Cook and Mitzi Gaynor and all my buddies out there. We're going to be together. And
Leroy, I want to go with you.
Yes, let's do it.
Let's go together.
All right. I love you.
Okay.
I love you so much.
I love you. Have a good night.
Thank you for taking time. Thank you.
Thank you, Leroy.
Oh,
Mary Jo, I want to ask you, and then I've got another surprise for you. What is the greatest piece of advice that you feel that you've gotten in this business from anyone?
I think from a Broadway gypsy, Alvin Beam, he was the swing boy.
Oh my God, he was a dear friend.
God bless him.
God, I loved him.
And he said, just keep going, hang around, you'll learn, you'll survive. He said, most character people always work. I think it was in between jobs at one time. And I thought, you always think, will I ever work again? Oh my gosh, now what am I going to do? The rent needs to be paid. Oh Lord. And to just keep at it as long as the funds and as long as your love of it holds out.
And your love of it obviously holds out. You've got a new movie coming out. When the Moon Was Twice as Big.
Yes.
This is coming out. And we saw this incredible montage at the beginning of the show. Bill, you have to...
Yay!
Yay!
Hello there.
Hi,
Bill, we made it. We got it on, by the hair of our chinny chin chin.
Yes, we did.
It was wonderful. My gosh, Bill, you found things that I was sure were gone forever.
I had good material. So,
yes.
Oh, God bless you. Thank you.
Great to see you.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Bill, how did you and Mary Jo meet?
We met, I think it was probably back in 2004 through a dear friend, Richard Loring. And Richard, I met Richard probably 20 years before that, or a good 15. And he was a songwriter, worked with Johnny Mathis on a lot of his albums. He worked at Paramount. He worked at NBC as a music director. Anytime somebody had to sing in the industry, if they were an actor and they weren't really a vocal person, the studio would send them to Richard. And he worked with Burt Lancaster and a whole bunch of people. So it was through Richard that we met.
And
wonderful man. I had a couple singing lessons with him. I couldn't believe he would let me do that, but he was great and so encouraging. Always, again, positive, beautiful man.
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about this film that's going to be coming out in 2022.
It's been a labor of love, and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears has gone into it. COVID, thank you.
COVID.
We shot a while back, did principal photography. It's all self-financed. So my husband and producing partner, John Kilway, it's all the two of us at this point. And so we're finishing up post, and doing sound, color correction. We have a couple post houses that are doing effects for us and finishing those up. But the film, it takes place in two time periods, 1969 and 2009. And we follow a 10-year-old boy through the summer of 1969. And that's when Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. His dad's a test pilot for the Air Force. So that's the summer he's trying to figure out what he wants to do with his life. And there's good and bad that happens. He decides he wants to be an astronomer. But midway through the film, the rug's kind of pulled out from us. And it's now that 10-year-old boy looking in the mirror about to turn 50 and realizing his life didn't turn out exactly like he thought it would. But it's all about our lives are in our own hands. And Mary Jo plays, it was fun because we have to double cast a lot of the roles. And Mary Jo plays an important part about the last quarter of the film, I would say. And
it's a little part, but it sure was.
No, there's no little parts. Remember, no, I think it's a key part, and it's introduces the heart of that part of the story to us. But we're excited. We can't wait for it to come out.
And when is it scheduled to come out?
We hope next year. Next year is when we'll hit the festivals, if COVID allows.
When it comes out, will you and Mary Jo come back and we'll talk about it?
Oh, sure. We'd love to.
Great.
Absolutely. Well, absolutely.
I remember the night that they walked on the moon.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being at my grandmother's house, and I remember sitting on the porch with my cousins, and we were looking at the moon, and we were all convinced that we could see them.
It's funny you say that. There's a line in the movie very much like that.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Oh, how old were you then? You were a baby.
I was 8 years old. Yeah.
Yes. 8. So
Wow.
many people, I just want to say that in case any 8-year-olds see this. That's a very important year in your lives because so many things, at least in mine and a lot of people I've talked to, that was the year they just knew.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Were you, Bill?
Yeah, it was funny because this was not the first idea I was going to do for a first feature like this. It was working on another idea. And then one night I started writing this idea that came to me, and I kept writing. And I was about a month into writing it till I realized, oh, the little boy's me, So it was very freeing to get to do that. Yeah.
Well, I have to say,
you have pictures of you as a little boy with like space things. And
I do. I actually I think on Facebook, I sometimes use my profile picture is me in the 4th of July parade in 1969 with a Baskin Robbins ice cream tub cut out with cellophane as my astronaut helmet, and then 3 of the containers taped together to be the rocket. And I've got a little NASA emblem on my shirt. And
that is so wonderful.
Oh my God.
Bill, I want to thank you so much.
Oh.
Thank you for all your help today, putting that together.
My pleasure.
Mary Jo, he put that together today.
No.
Yes. Yes.
It was brilliant. It looked like, I thought you probably spent weeks doing it.
Well, I did, really, in my heart. So,
well, and it means the world to me. So thank you. And he did this for you, Mary Jo, and thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much, Bill. So much love to Johnny.
Okay.
Thank
Love you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Mary Jo, we're going to run out of time. I want to be respectful of your time, and I want to be respectful of everyone else's time. Before you go, I do this little thing at the end of my show. This is my homage to James Lipton and Inside the Actors Studio. If you ever watched that, he always had his questions. And these are just random questions that I put together. Just asking you random, fun questions.
Oh, I hope I'm not going to fail. Questions.
I don't even know what they are. The first question, and maybe this is, what's the biggest surprise that you've ever had?
Oh, golly. Well, I can think of 2 different birthdays, and one of them was was a birthday party, and there was a male stripper there. It was a big surprise. Maybe not my favorite, but it was well, I'm using the wrong adjectives.
Oh my God.
Oh, this is on YouTube forever. Oh dear.
No. Well, I'm going to share. For my 40th birthday, someone sent a male stripper to me. I was totally embarrassed, but Dodie Goodman said it was the best birthday party she had ever been to.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yes.
Isn't it an awful feeling?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And they are shameless, you know.
I know, but that was Dodie Goodman. And the next, what do you consider to be the biggest success that you've had in your life so far?
Gosh, having wonderful friends. I have some wonderful friends here in California. Michael and Kirk and Dale and BJ and all my wonderful friends, and Tony. Anyway, I shouldn't have started mentioning them, because then a lot of them come to my mind. But anyway, that's wonderful. And to be able to work at what I wanted to do and make a living at it, and actually buy a house, have a house, and also occasionally be recognized. It's really nice. Somebody just emailed me the other day saying, "I remember you in Come Back, Little Sheba." I have never seen a more incandescent. I mean, he really went on, and I thought, all these years later, that was 1977. All these years later, to have somebody say things like that. I have to say, one of the funniest surprises was I was doing Annie Get Your Gun, and I was Annie. Mm-hmm. And I had a friend of mine, Larry Clinton, a very funny guy. And he said, "Are you working?" I said, "Yes, I'm doing Annie." And he said, "Really? How old is the dog?"
I knew it. I knew it. Oh my God. Well, maybe you've just answered the next question. What is the highest praise that you've ever received?
Oh gosh. I don't think I have an answer for that. People are so kind and wonderful, and some really good reviews along the way. I guess one of the best was Leroy Reams just now saying it's the woman that we love the actress, but the woman. It's so nice to know that having wonderful parents and my religion, it's wonderful.
That's wonderful. What is the thing that you'd most like to begin now that you've never done before?
Oh, I always wanted to do that one wonderful movie. I wanted to be in a film that, when I saw The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, and I saw Chuck, I'm blacking his last name. I'm sorry. Anyway, he played a deaf mute.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time now remembering lines if it's a long speech. And so I think it'd be so wonderful to play, or this little old lady in a corner who's in a wheelchair and maybe has one wonderful moment or one wonderful speech. Not to carry a movie, but it would be nice to do something memorable in a film, mm-hmm. and have people like it.
And what is the thing that you'd most like to complete that you've started that you haven't finished?
Oh my gosh, you should see my garage. Boxes and boxes. Anyway, there are two friends I didn't mention, Rodney and Edon. I have to mention them because they're wonderful, and they've helped me with that garage. It's like a work in progress, but I've written some poetry along the way. I don't have a whole collection of it, and sometimes I feel like I'd like to write, but it's a little hard to. And I kind of had an idea for a play, actually, I guess a one act even. And I have all these ideas, but it's hard to sit down and execute them. So they'll always sort of be in the atmosphere, I think.
And my last question to you is, what is the fullest aspect of your life?
There are so many triangles to that, so many aspects that I love. I love my friends. I love my work. I really love doing this. I wish I could do it more, but I know that age happens, you know. I really like living in California. I loved living in New York, but I'm so glad I moved when I was younger because it's not an older person's city. And what was the question?
What is the fullest aspect of your life?
Aspects in my life that and knowing you and having us have a long time before we ever did this, and I kept saying maybe next month and I'm so glad we did this, Richard.
I am too. I love you so much. And don't go anywhere for a moment. I want to thank everybody who is here tonight. I know I can speak for Mary Jo when I say this. And Leroy and Bill and everyone who is here tonight, and even Danny virtually.
Oh, yeah.
All of us in this business, we don't take it for granted when people take the time to spend an hour or two with us. So thank you for spending an hour with us this evening. You could have been anywhere else for the last hour, whether it's live now or whether you watch us later. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to spend it with us. So thank you for that.
Well, I can't believe how long it went. I mean, how quickly it went. It seemed like it would be long, and it was over in no time. Thank you.
If this is your first time here, I hope that you all will subscribe to Richard Skipper Celebrates right here on YouTube. My goal is to celebrate. It's to celebrate artists. It's to celebrate life. It's to celebrate art. I believe that there's a lot to celebrate if we only take the time to do so. Life is pretty dark these days. And if we take the time to look for the light, it's there. I truly believe that. So please subscribe to this channel. I've celebrated over 300 people prior to Mary Jo, and hopefully there will be 300 more, maybe 600, 900. Please subscribe, hit the like button, leave a comment, and share this with your friends. And I also end every show by telling everyone to go out and do something nice for somebody else without expecting anything in return. Go to your Facebook friends list, and the first name that pops up, reach out with a phone call. Not an email message, not a text message, not a private inbox message, but a phone call. And let that person know what they mean to you. Because as my dear friend David Friedman says, we're all in this together, but we're not in the same boat. But I always say, if you're going to go out in a boat, make sure you bring a skipper along. Now, Mary Jo, I'm going to leave the screen. Don't get scared. I'm going to leave the screen and I'm going to give you the final word. Anything that you want to say about anything that we talked about tonight, anything that we didn't talk about that you wish we had, or just any message that you want to put out to anyone who's watching. And don't worry about how to end this, because when you kiss everyone goodbye, I will end the show. I thank you for being here. I thank you for the gifts that you've given to the world and that you're going to continue to give through these video clips, through the work that you've done, the gifts that you're going to give for now and forever. Mary Jo, I love you. Thank you.
I love you, Richard. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Oh, I thought he'd never leave. So, now what shall we talk about? No. Oh, I love him so much. He's just great, and this time was wonderful. I wish you could know how fast everything, it just sped along, and I was worried, and I'm even a little worried now about one-to-one with all of you. I don't know where my eye should go. I don't know where to look, but that's okay. It's a little late to worry about it. Anyway, thank you to my potluck girls. Thank you to Denver people that I love so much. Thank you to Jane and Lisa, and thank you for being my friends. I love you all so much. And thank you, dear God. Thank you. When actors get up on and receive awards and they thank God, I think it's so wonderful because he made all this possible. And I what else? I want to thank people for putting up with me all these years and for hiring me. And I don't know, just loved it. I love it. Obviously, I love it. I wouldn't work this hard at all this makeup and the wig and not love being here. Anyway, thank you. Oh, by the way, I want you to think that I wear this makeup every day. Come into breakfast and have this on. My sister will tell you. Oh, Pat, I bet you're laughing. Anyway, love you all so much. I love this life. I'm so glad that I've survived all these years and hopefully have a few more to go. Mwah!